So basically tonight's the opening session in here. What I want to go over is just the actual training principles behind what we're doing on a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and that's Boot Camp Extreme. There is going to be the strength camp, which is going to be like probably limited to men only, and that's going to be like strength training. But that's going to be on the other days, like Tuesday and Thursday. This is like a high intensity circuit with weights. As you can see, if you've not been in here before, it's a more hardcore nature to what's involved. So what I could have done if I'd have thought on, and obviously I think a lot about the branding and things, is I probably would have called it Boot Camp Elite rather than Boot Camp Extreme if we could go back, because I think the word extreme makes it sound like it's just like a higher level of training, and that puts people off. It's not so much a higher level of training. I would say it's more elite, because we're only aiming at this top sort of 30% maybe of that gym. It's people that have progressed and then now they want to move on to that next thing. But that next thing isn't working harder, because there is a limitation to how hard it can work. So that's just one point I wanted to get across really. So obviously, as you can see in the room, you're going to be using different exercises. There's different elements to that. The first thing is you're only going to be working in a group of 10 people. So that means that we can do exercise in here with you that we can't do over there purely based on numbers, because you've got one coach and 10 people training. You can technique-wise go through a lot, you can refine a lot more techniques over exercises that are going to get faster results that we just cannot do in that room because of 20 people at boot camp. The first thing. The second thing, the nature of the fact it's a downstairs unit, heavy duty flooring, we've got all these bumper plates that can be thrown about. That means that we can use more hardcore exercises, just coming to. That means you can use more hardcore exercises. Again, that will provide an increased stimulus for your body to ramp things up a little bit. That's basically all made possible by the fact that we're not opening it up to everybody. So if people are beginners, then we want them to stay over there till they get to a certain level and then move into here, so that we're then working with a small group of people that are also that are quite skilled up in what they're doing because they've been over there a while. We move into here, and again, you know, Jonathan or Steve or me or Sarah or whoever can work on higher level skill sets rather than basic exercises over there. So that's the first thing to get across. The other thing that I said in the presentation the other night is that you can use Boot Camp Extreme alongside everything else. So for some of the lads, it might well work out, they might want to use the Boot Camp Extreme session alongside the Strength Camp that's going to run on Tuesday and Thursdays. The Strength Camp's going to be really intensive to get you stronger and bigger. So probably the women wouldn't want that, but that would work well for some of the blokes alongside this type of training. You can run it alongside your boot camp, your regular boot camp over there. Some of the women might want to do that. We can also amend your schedule. So say someone like Kim that's on 4 sessions a week over there, then you might, you know, we're more than happy to drop that to 2 if you wanted to do 1 or 2 in here. You know, that's open to anyone. And then a whole other group of people there is that we can reach to is we've got the box fit now running. So some of the lads, some of the women might want to say, well, I'll drop my boot camp membership over there right down and cancel it. I'll do work in here, and if I want that type of training, that heart rate training, I'll go and hit a few bags on a Tuesday and Thursday in the other gym, and just that's on a flexible basis as well. And then your last thing's your personal training, which a lot of people do personal training in this gym. The card booking system is very flexible. Has anyone brought theirs with them? Luke, did you have one? Somebody's showing me one tonight. It was Gav, yeah. So we'll get one of those in a minute. It's basically a card, make spaces on the back. You just purchase the card from the other gym, cash or cheque, you get it stamped when you come in here. When your 8 sessions have run out, then you can either purchase another one or you can continue back with the boot camp or the box fit or anything. That's what it looks like. So we're selling them in that gym now. 8 spaces on the back, get them punched when you come in. When it runs out, you can either buy another one or you don't have to. That's up to you. Then you will have access to the booking system that is for this place only then. So the guys that have come on that haven't done boot camp, I think there's only you 2 guys, isn't there? We've obviously set them up a profile, but for everybody else, if you come from boot camp, you'll notice that there is a booking system that looks like that now down the right hand side, and that's how you can book your sessions. What else have we got? Right, the session itself, I just want to talk a bit technically now. The type of training you're going to be doing is, the term has been coined by someone called Jade Tita in America, and it's basically rest-based training. I've wrote the sort of sentence that explains it up on the board. So rest-based training is push until you can't, rest until you can. Okay. Now, you know, that fits into other training models, but the basic... Whose car's that? The basic idea... Okay. The basic idea of rest-based training is very, very different, and this is relevant to the people that are going to do this session today or later in the week. Rest-based training is very different to everything we do over there. Everything over there, it's about you being accountable to the trainer to work for a minute or 2 minutes or your 20 seconds, and then you've got set rest periods. So you might work for 20, rest for 10, repeat that 8 times. We do that one a lot. Or the boxing session, work for a minute on a bag, rest for 10 seconds. And the ownership is pretty much on the trainer to keep you going in that time frame. This is using a different type of training where we're going to set the clock today. You're going to work for a minute, or the clock's going to be set for a minute with 15 seconds rest. And you're going to do that over 24 different areas. Now, within that minute, what we're asking people to do is pick a weight that you can only maybe do between 10 and 15 reps with. You do your 10 and 15 reps, which should only take you 30 seconds of the minute. Put the bar down, or whatever you do, you stop, get your breath back and then go again, and just squeeze out as much as you can in that minute. And it's not going to be, the guys are all clued up, the trainers, that they aren't going to be down in your grill saying, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going, and getting you working for a minute. It is the ownership's on you to squeeze as much out of that minute as you can. And that will have a different effect on your body to that type of training. I think that, coupled with the nature of the exercises, will definitely bring people onto another level with their results in the training. So that's it, rest periods aren't defined. The goal is to do as much work as possible in that 60 seconds. Now that doesn't mean pick a light weight and work continuously for 60 seconds, because that's the sort of training we do over there. It's pretty much pick a weight that you can only get 10 reps with, or you know, if you can get 15 reps, on your second lap of the circuit, increase the weight, and the ownership's on you there. I think that's pretty much everything. Last thing really is just take the time, don't put pressure on yourself to adjust to this type of training. When Jonathan first started working for me, we went for a phase of doing this a couple of times a week, didn't we? And it took us, you know, a while to get used to, you know, do we put 80 kilos on the bar, do we put 60, do we put 100? And it took us a while to get used to this type of training, but once we did, we got good results from it. I think that the message really is, if you're going to do this, you know, tonight or later in the week or at some point, don't put too much pressure on yourself to just go in there and think, oh, it was the best session in the world. You might not get it right the first time you do it, but I think it's something you'll get better at, really. And it goes without saying that I think that the points I've mentioned are going to speed people's results up. We've not had the facility to do this in the past, or else I definitely would have done it over there. But it goes without saying that your nutrition's got to be dialed in if you're going to get results. That's whatever training you do, your nutrition's got to be on the mark, really. So, is there any questions with this stuff from the people that are training tonight, or people that may be thinking of doing it in the future? Is there anything?
How would you recommend that we do it here?
I think it's like anything. It's like with your nutrition. I'd get used to your own body. I think we're all different. Some people have got the capacity to do this type of training like a lot in a week. Other people might take 3 days to recover from it. So I'd listen to the feedback your body's giving. If you're really stiff from it, then just stay back. And that's the beauty of these, is they're flexible, and that's part of why I've decided to do it like this. So all I would do is I would get one of these, I'd do it, and then just listen to your body. You know, you can always cancel sessions that you've booked, and that's why we've only gone for 3 days a week to begin with, to give people that recovery. You know, you might find that you're not even as stiff as like that type of training. Personally, this sort of stuff doesn't make me that stiff. Boot camp stuff does, and it's lighter. So it's definitely a personal thing. I'm probably more built for this type of training than endurance sort of stuff over there, and people will be vice versa, and people will be in the middle. Some people don't even get stiff. So I just listen to your body's feedback. I think 2 is a good start point. For a woman, 2 is probably a good start point.
So is it a bit like personal training? Like this type of weight to do with...
The thing about personal training is we could do this type of training over there because it's only one-on-one. And, you know, we could do bar dropping weights, that's the only thing we can't do in there. But bar that, we could do this type of session on a personal trainer. So I know when my brother was training you got good results with this sort of training. That is something you're going to be able to do in here that's more affordable in a group, because it's like, if there's 10 people training, you pay less than if there's one person training. Obviously personal training has the advantage of like looking at you as an individual and looking at your diet and setting goals and stuff. So it won't give you that, but it will give you that facility to train like this, rest-based training like this, a bit heavier. Whereas boot camp's lighter, but more reps and more volume. Alright. Anything else, guys?
Well, so you know when you said that you could, if you did that and drop your boot camp, but then you could go back?
Yeah.
what if there's no space left in boot camp then?
I wouldn't completely cancel that, I'd just like drop it down a bit and experiment for like a couple of weeks. You made your mind up. That is a problem. There's like a lot of people now on that. That would be something that would be very hard for me to monitor that, because if somebody drops off, it's going to be hard to hold a place on it. So I'd just make sure that you knew what you wanted to do. The other thing I've not mentioned is obviously the enjoyment factor. You've always got a conflict with training as to what is good for your body and what will get the best outcome for you as an individual, what you enjoy doing. Some people just love long distance running training or smacking the shit out of the punch bag. Even though it might not be the best thing for them, they love doing it. And obviously part of this is enjoyment, and it's deciding what percent of you is about outcome and results and what percent of you is about meeting your goal, and that's an individual thing. If you're nearly at your goal, you could probably mix it up how you see fit. If you're a long way from your goal, then I think you've got to do what's best for you until you get nearer, really. But yeah, if you think of doing that, I'd just drop it down a bit and then make your mind up properly before making a decision on it. At this time of year, especially, when it's a bit busy over there.
If, say, like, we do this all together, will we lose our place over there, our slot?
I think that's what Pauline was asking, yeah. The thing with that is, I don't know how convenient the times are, but there is always the boxing, which will work alongside this, we don't have to remember. But if you don't want to do that, and obviously boot camp's more comprehensive than the boxing class, then, like I was just saying there, you can't, like, if you do cancel your boot camp, at this time of year right now, hand on heart, I couldn't say we could like hold a place for anyone, because there's people waiting to join it. There's like a lot of people emailed already that want to join that as soon as other people leave. So yeah.
So if you're doing that, Russ, and you do personal training as well, instead of paying for all three, could you, with your personal training, why are you just doing this for the first month? Could you just pay your personal training for one session at a time instead of paying for it all out? That makes sense.
Really, what we do with personal training is work in multiples of 4, like either a block of 4 or a block of 8, because that's how the training works. I think that once you've possibly established with your personal training, like what we don't want is if we said, yeah, we do personal training blocks of 1, like one session, you get, as I've worked with loads of trainers that have done that, and they just get someone rocking up, you might do the assessment and they never come back, and you're never going to get results. So we do it in that way, because that's like a system I've developed that's worked for me with my clients in the past. But once you're established now, aren't you, with your person, you've done enough to obviously go through that process of your nutrition, setting your goals, and you've got like good results. So for you, you'd have to have a chat with Steve about that and see what he's happy with. Is there any other stuff before the torture begins? I think people are just asking questions to delay the anything else, guys? Facebook fan page is the best thing, or an email to admin. Alright, good stuff. Alright, cheers, Kath.
Cheers, Russ.
Yeah, cheers.